Hello, my name is Jasmine Biana. I am a event producer, experience designer. Some would call it event planner, event coordinator. There's lots of names, but at the end of the day, all things events. I have about almost about 15 years of experience in events and live entertainment in Los Angeles, ranging from private events to special events, conferences and weddings to live entertainment festivals and concerts, fashion weeks, and all the things. Honestly, it really has been an incredible time. And I'm really excited because I really feel like I'm just getting started. I'm barely scratching the level. And like I said, going further, going beyond event planning and going beyond event production, but going deeper and into experience design, which is more of like the nuance of a guest journey from invitation, from like the first time they find out about the event. The expectations that they're building, anticipation and all that good stuff, to the actual experience, what they're doing during the event. Not a party, not just like, you throw some things together and people just having a good time, but programming, key partners and stakeholders and interactives and activities and goodies and like, curated menu and decor. What are they listening to? Like the different senses. What can they hear, taste, smell, all the things that really comes together to create an experience, okay? A moment that you experience, not passively, but intentionally. And so it's been a great time. Events is really just like a really strong marketing tool, okay? When you want to launch something, when you want to gather people, when you want to test a product, when you want to like, you want to gather intel, information, content, like it's so many different reasons why you might want to put together an event, celebrate something, celebrate something, celebrate someone, and again, announcing something, like it's just, the list goes on. But whatever the reason might be, you suddenly find yourself with this project and then you're like, oh, suddenly you're planning this event, and it's not necessarily like you don't really know how, because I'm not here to teach you, like, it's not giving Pinterest templates, it's not about to be like, oh, week 1 do this, week 2 do that, week 3 do that. Eventually I'll offer something similar to, something like that. But the thing about it is that every single experience is like a special snowflake. I'm not even sure if I feel comfortable publishing like a general policy. This is what you should do step by step, because then everybody's events and experiences is going to come out looking the same. And the whole point of the thing I want you guys to get to understand is that, like, your purpose and your people and your platform, they are all going to be different. And so what your experience ends up being, how it ends up being, it should feel different, because it is different. It's in a different city, it's on a different date, it's like a different brand. You just can't copy paste things. You can't and then expect for it to be like have the same impact. You can't. Business objectives can be completely thwarted because a meeting or a conference is not properly planned, because like technical difficulties, can't see the presentation, can't hear the speaker speaking, have no idea what the vision is for the year, like yada yada yada. All of that like impacts a business's performance, right? So that's the severity to which I consider the impact of my profession or title. Event planning, event production. It's I don't know. Yeah, I struggle with the titles, but event management, I think, is what I settle overall. Like just managing the overall event and all the pieces that goes in it. So, yeah. Anyways. I love learning. I attribute that to one of the reasons why I am a successful event producer, especially without having a laid out career path, or education pipeline, or, there's no degree. I did go to college, I did go to university, I went to USC, fight on. Excuse me, but there was no degree in like event planning or event production or, community building or, networking or conference planning or stage management or talent management or how to run a sound check or, technical production and lighting and, lighting design and all these other things. Nobody was telling me what a technical writer versus a hospitality writer was. Nobody was telling me, like, what's a runner, what's a PA, like. And I also just didn't know about a lot of these things. Like I didn't know what I didn't know, and you just don't. There's no way to get around that. You just don't know what you don't know until you know it, until somebody tells you, until you experience it, something like that. So, if you work in this industry, then you already know, right? And even if you don't, I feel like a lot of people understand that the entertainment industry, it's gate kept in a way that's like. Honestly, I don't want to get into the industry talk because I don't really consider myself like in the industry, so I can't really speak to a lot of the industry. I have obviously been in and around it and I've touched it enough. From my experience, what I have experienced is that there's just not a lot of opportunity unless you get lucky to land yourself a boss or mentor who will, tuck you under their wing and, show you the ropes along the way or something. Other than that, you're typically thrown into the deep end and you're learning, by the fire. And it's trial and error. And it can be really stressful. It can be really overwhelming. It can be really confusing. And like the imposter syndrome goes crazy, and it's like you feel like you have nothing but dumb questions and who do you turn to and da 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 da, and then the ego of it all, like, and the making you feel weak if you ask. And again, this is not necessarily my experience. Here and there, but I have been lucky to have some mentors along the way. But generally speaking, you gotta have thick skin. You have to be resourceful. You have to be innovative. You just have to be observant because a lot of the learning is just by seeing and by doing. Seeing people do it the right way, or honestly logic. There's a lot of logic if you know what needs to get done, if you have enough like foresight and critical thinking skills to be able to understand like challenges and solutions and risks and stuff like that, especially when it gets to like when you're a manager and you gotta manage staff and budget and schedules and all these other things. So long story short, I feel like it took forever to get to my point, but my point was I've always wanted to create a space or just be able to teach others, and I have along the way, and as when I could and how I could. If anybody ever had any questions or, on site, I'm always mentoring. I'm always teaching those who are on my team. But really wanted to create like a course, like event courses where people around the world could learn about event planning, event production, and experience design. And together as a collective, we could elevate, like we could raise the standards, and just like raise the best practices and raise our own expectations, and just like the average some of our lived experiences. I just want to make like our lives a bit more enjoyable by having better time. I am working on building out the actual infrastructure for this school and having, as an entrepreneur, growing up without like, structure, it's difficult to implement structure, right? Like I'm trying to do a thing that wasn't done for me, or trying to provide others but wasn't provided for me. So bear with me is what I ask for one. I actually started this idea or whatever. I created the first draft of this course in 2021. It's now 2024. It's the end of 2024. It's been a full 3 years since the first time I tried this, and my perfectionism has just paralyzed me. I just waited, and I wanted a full curriculum. I wanted modules broken down. I wanted it to be comprehensive. I wanted it to include, templates and key resources and possibly some guests, because I'm not an expert on everything. I'm knowledgeable about a lot of things, but I'm not an expert on everything. Actually, I'm not an expert on most things. Okay, like one or two maybe, but yeah, just waiting for all of that to come together has just had me stuck in the mud, feeling like I'm just like stuck in the quicksand and I'm not moving, and people around me are continuing to struggle. Events around me are continuing to struggle. Event brands around me, event organizers. Like, I'm here for the small business owners, the event entrepreneurs, people who just, your 9 to 5, or your job title isn't necessarily event producer. It's not event planner or nothing, but you have found yourself needing to plan an event, throw an event together, or you find yourself, you feel like an event is your best way in order to deliver the solution that you need to deliver. I'm here to get you to just think, to consider events a different way, and to consider events as more experiences beyond parties, but more intentional programming, so that you can better serve your communities and your audiences, your clients, your customers, your employees, your team, whoever you're serving, and they can experience some sort of transformation, so that you can ensure positive impact. That's what we're here to do. Provide a positive impact, positive change. Like I said, this is not going to be step by step. We're just going to talk through some topics. It's going to be more conversational. You see, I got the candle lit. All right, it's a nice, chill vibe. Okay, and this is just to get us started. From here, I would love to get your questions, your feedback, what you are curious about, what you're confused about, concerned about, stressed about, in need of. If there is specific resources or products I should start with, like templates, scripts, checklists, how to tour venues, or maybe the vendor confirmations, like how to confirm your vendors the week of your event, or top 10 favorite venues in Los Angeles. I am based in LA, so we are going to be talking about LA. Can't wait to go national and global, like New York, Chicago, London, da 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 da. But right now we're going to start with LA. But what does that look like? Because like I said, I've been in here for a minute. I go to industry conferences for this stuff. Like, I love it. And so the conversations and the topics and the resources and stuff that I'm seeing and that is being circulated around me sometimes goes over the head of most people. Like, most people are not necessarily looking at talking about KPIs. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? And for a while I was I was looking to serve like the early on, like not the early entrepreneurs, the early event professionals, those who were looking to launch a career in events, and this can still serve those. So I could still be speaking to you. Truthfully, I'm not really sure if I know how to serve early event professionals. I can't help anybody looking for a corporate track. I've very much been doing lots of contract work, gig work. You know, I could talk about how to find work, how to create value for yourself, how to talk like client management. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm here to talk to the entrepreneurs, okay? An entrepreneur is a person that goes out and they make opportunities for themselves, or honestly, they just find a way to monetize their natural born talents and develop skills and gifts. I don't know. That's not Webster. That's just off the top of my head. So if you feel like that is you, pull up a seat. If you feel like you don't know, stick around for a while. I'm sure. I'm hoping there's something here for everyone. Let me see if there's anything else I want to cover in this little intro video. I love engagement. Please talk back to me, okay? Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me if you got questions. Tell me if I'm not making sense. Like, I would be interested in hosting like office hours or, you know, like live Q&A type of thing. So TBD on that. We'll see about that. But and then what else? Honestly, I think that's about it. Talked about who your instructor is. Again, my name is Jasmine Brianna. Nice to meet you. I will link my LinkedIn somewhere, my website or something somewhere. You can find me somewhere. If you have any questions, concerns, want to do a virtual chat, coffee or something like that, love to connect. If you want to learn about the projects or the events, or, you know, like who is this person and how does she know what she know, you can check me out. And then I'll tell you more about like other ways that you can work with me, or, you know, next steps in advancing your event education at the end. So let's get into it.